On today's show, we go over our fantasy football draft from yesterday, a breakdown of NFL storylines we're excited about this year, and why Shedeur Sanders has no chance at the Heisman Trophy.
All this and more, including why your team sucks.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go! This is the show we recap last week in the sports world while highlighting what's upcoming and, of course, predicting the outcome. It's all here on Two Takes Between the Lakes.
Welcome in to not one, but two takes between the lakes, the only show to come twice a week that will not include the sports bias from the East and West Coast. I am Adam Marino, joined by CJ Westra on this Labor Day. We are laboring for you. It's a labor of love.
Yes.
We're going into labor.
We're going into labor.
His water broke. So, yes, this is our first full-length episode. We did have the trailer, right, that came out just to kind of explain what's going on.
Definitely just trying to see, like, what you guys think of, like, our show. That's basically why we did that, you know.
Do you like us?
Do you like us?
So, if not, we're going to keep coming at you until you do, basically.
Yeah. Just got back from our fantasy football draft. Shout out to B-Dubs with the new championship ring.
And this is the trophy. If you are watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can see the beautiful trophy.
We popping champagne like we won the championship
last year. This dude, we're going to show our rosters this year. You did do much better, I will say.
Bro, last year was just because of disconnect, though. It wasn't like I was trying to draft 3 defenses.
You heard that right, folks. He drafted, like, this dude was not paying attention.
And I still won the league. So
and he still won.
Hey,
so,
do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
With the rosters, you're saying?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so number 1 pick, I got Justin Jefferson, then Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Lamar Jackson, George Pickens, Smith and Jigba, which it could be a good pick, but I was rushed on that one. Jamal Williams.
So at this point, this dude has no tight ends, and everyone else has like 2 in our draft.
And I totally forgot that, like.
So then the guys in the draft started just picking tight ends on purpose, just to like even have a third one, so that you didn't have one. You're like, oh, I should have got him. Then all of a sudden, like it was who's with Atlanta? Pitts, right?
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
And you're
I forgot about
and you
him.
like left the room. You're like,
it's because we did a sticker board, so it wasn't like online. Like you don't really, unless you have it pulled up, which I did, but then I'd look away and then not even think about it. So I had my receivers and my running backs down, but I didn't look at tight end on the list. So
because we were trying to do like the show, the league, like how they have a board and everything.
Yep. And I ended up with Drake London, which is a solid pick, but then I ended up with Sam Laporta as my tight end, so we'll see how he does. Might pick up Brock Wright as his backup. Quinton Johnson, I believe in him this year. I think he could have some great numbers with Herbert. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones as well with Deshaun Watson. He'll be probably the number 2 receiver behind Amari Cooper. And then I got Jameson Williams, which he suspended 6 games, but the thing is I'm thinking playoffs on that one. He'll be definitely a starter.
And it's in the second to last round when you got him. So
yep. And then Harrison Butker, kicker, and Bills defense. So I'm pretty happy with my team. I don't know if it'll give me this back-to-back trophy, but we'll see. We'll see going forward.
Yep, you got the Lombardi there last year. I have the following players upon my winning roster, I hope. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Amari Cooper, Kenneth Walker III, Terry McLaurin, Raheem Mostert, David Njoku, Jonathan Taylor, which everyone was like, oh, because his value, that's a value pick.
Yeah.
In the 11th, 12th round to get Jonathan Taylor when, we don't know what he's doing, but he is a top 5 running back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so Jonathan Taylor, then Christian Kirk, I thought was a good value pick there. It was either him or Mike Evans, and Mike Evans got picked right before. So Christian Kirk, then Michael Gallup, the Jaguars defense, and the kicker from the Raiders, Carlson. So that is my team, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. We'll see
Yeah, your team's pretty good.
I hope Mahomes throws about 97 screen passes that go for touchdowns to Isaiah Pacheco.
Awesome. Yeah, I just picked him up in my other league. So
Anytime that I wanted to get that because anytime they get down to like the 3 or 4,
yeah,
and Kelsey fans or whoever, they want him to throw it, and that way I still get points. If he hands off to Pacheco and gets in the end zone, I'm not mad that Mahomes didn't throw it in. That's why.
Yeah, for sure.
What I mean? So, yeah, we'll see. Out of our 2 rosters, I wonder who will end up doing better. I will say, okay, I got to go over this. We have one dude who couldn't make it at all. One guy. And I'll just rapid fire this roster.
Oh,
it made me frustrated. Just so we did like more of like the auto draft. We gave him like the value add at that level.
He gets the best available player on the board.
No matter if it's like a receiver and he's already got 2 receivers, like it doesn't matter. Just the value, right? So, but listen to this. And his first pick was Travis Kelce. So here it is. Travis Kelce, Christian Cooper Kupp, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Miles Sanders, Justin Herbert, Tyler Lockett, Cam Akers, San Francisco defense, Javonte Williams, Pat Freiermuth, Dak Prescott, and Deshaun Watson.
That's crazy.
And it's like, dude, those are Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews at tight end, Tyler Lockett. Justin Herbert was like in the 8th round, and then he still got Dak Prescott. So just mad at that dude for not even – he's on a jet ski somewhere. Probably. He'll get home and then look at his team. You got Travis Kelce.
I think he did. He just started looking at it, I think.
Yeah. So, okay, that is our draft from yesterday. Again, happy Labor Day today.
Yep.
Is Monday, September 4th. Remember, we come to you every Monday and every Thursday. So Monday's show is going to be a weekly recap of what has happened, which we have a lot to get into for that as college football is off and running. And then on Thursday, it's more of a top 10 list or a versus matchup or something that doesn't have to do with anything that happened necessarily this week. So we'll get into that. Okay, so for today, though, first thing on the docket is what?
NFL breakdown. So we're going to go through every division, the AFC, NFC. We're going to tell you if there's kind of like a storyline, just a quick storyline.
What to watch out for. And
our predictions of like basically our Final Four. So NFC North champs and AFC NFC champs, AFC champs, and then our Super Bowl.
Sure. So let's start with the AFC West. The storyline there, I think, is can Russell Wilson figure it out with Sean Payton, who is kind of known as like the guru guy.
The guru guy. You'd think he did with all that with Breeze back when he was in New Orleans. And then he comes and basically makes, I don't know, like a grand entrance thinking he can be the one. So we'll see. You know, he's been in trouble before with that bounty scandal, and I think he's a good guy. I think he's a good coach when it comes down to it, but you know, we'll see. I mean, drama doesn't pretty much precede him wherever, you know.
Then in the AFC West also we got Justin Herbert, another year under his belt. The offense, Austin Eckler holding out and sticking up for running backs, all that. Injuries are always a big deal. He has no one to throw to because they're injured a lot of the time. The Raiders.
I mean, so what's your prediction
for the AFC West?
Yeah.
Who comes out of there is, I mean, it's hard to pick against
mine goes Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos.
Which was pretty much
a given what last year was.
Yeah, that's pretty much what last year was.
Like,
but do you see enough?
I don't believe in Russell Wilson, so that's my whole thing. We'll see, you know, with Mahomes this year what he can do. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they, other than losing week 1 to the Lions, I don't see them losing many games. So,
which another guy actually even said that he's picking the Chiefs to lose that game. Who was in our draft? That like that's people are talking like you catch Kansas City off guard sometimes, or just
and
they
that's
just don't
what
feel
I
like
think.
playing.
Like, yeah, it's like the off guard. I think that's really
The
what
Colts
it is.
did that where they had no business winning that game last year.
Yep.
So it's happened. The Colts have done it twice actually to Kansas
Yeah.
City. Doesn't make any sense.
So that's our AFC West.
Okay.
What about your NFC West?
Yep. So the Niner fan in me wants to be realistic. I think it's
So
fair
first
to say
it's
they make the playoffs.
So it's Niners, Seattle Seahawks, Arizona, and
LA Rams.
LA Rams. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. I'm taking
The Rams won't be as bad.
Niners, Seattle, Rams, Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona, just too much injuries and too
Yeah.
much new coach.
Do you see Ben
staff.
Skronik though is captain now for the Rams, so that's kind of cool.
Ben Skronik is from right here
In Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yes, sir. So pretty cool. He is a captain. The Rams will be better.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stafford's good to go, right? Ya boy.
Yeah, boy. Yeah.
So they'll be better. Arizona will be much worse. Seattle already made the playoffs last year, and I hate to say that they'll be better.
Yeah.
I mean, that roster, they know how to draft over there.
They do.
They really do. So I have Kenneth Walker as one of my running backs.
And I have Smith and Jigba, so I think he's better than Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. Now they also have a year under their belt, but
right.
We'll see what happens. When he was at Ohio State his junior year, I felt like he was better than both of them.
So NFC West, yeah, the usual suspects, just Arizona. They had a one good breakout year with
Kyler, and
but he's playing Call of Duty now. He's not even listening to the show. Okay, so then we jump to AFC North.
yeah.
And in the AFC North, I mean,
So it's Bengals, Browns,
right. Get into the teams.
Ravens, and Steelers.
Man, and those games, I remember just Sunday Night Football, Ravens and Steelers. Those
yeah,
games with
they're
like
so
Ray
fun.
Lewis and
Dun, dun,
Big,
dun, dun,
Big
dun,
Ben.
dun, dun, dun.
Well, that's ABC.
I know.
You're giving the wrong. That's what the song that you should do is the Carrie.
Dun, 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 dun.
No,
What's the
it's
waiting all night for Sunday night?
Yeah, that's with Carrie. What's her name?
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah. So
I was just doing random NFL theme songs.
So, you don't have Lamar.
Yeah, I got
You
Lamar.
do have Lamar Jackson as your quarterback. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean he's good for
I'm Kendrick Lamar.
a few good
fantasy
fantasy stats for sure. Does he hold up? Is he healthy? The defense for Baltimore always going to be good under Harbaugh. Steelers with Pickett and Pickens and those new guys.
So here you're gonna maybe call me crazy, but I'm gonna go Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns.
Yeah, I don't.
You
think
could
that's that
the Browns
crazy.
could be interchangeable, but a lot of people think that
You're basically saying you don't believe in the Bengals as much,
not
right?
this year. I love the Bengals. Don't get me wrong, but I really think that they got healthy running backs now. We'll see what J.K. Dobbins does. I think he brings a lot to the table when we talk about their game and Lamar having Lamar can't run as much if he doesn't have another threat. And J.K. adds a threat along with Odell being there, Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers. So
a lot.
do they have Gus Edwards still too? I think they have Gus Edwards. So
Do they?
yeah. So hopefully they're all healthy. Remember last year was the year that 5 of them went out in 2 days.
Before game one.
So crazy. But yeah, no, I definitely think that the Ravens are going to take it. No disrespect to the Bengals. Steelers, there's a little bit more hype than the Browns, but the Browns could win the whole thing technically. I put them at last place, but with Deshaun, we don't know. We didn't really get to see him play that much.
And they're not going to go 0-16 just because you call them in last place of their division.
It's basically who they could, like I said, they could win the division. Until they prove it to me, I'm not going to put them up there. It's one of those, I'm not going to get bit in the ass just because.
Yeah.
No,
It's I don't think.
And then you guys throw it back in my face.
I don't think it's that crazy
The Browns
to say
suck, I told you.
the Ravens atop that division.
No.
Okay, then going to the NFC North.
Yeah.
What's our storyline there?
NFC North, you got it a little bit different. Storylines, new sheriff in town. I firmly believe Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC North right now. No disrespect to Kirk Cousins. I just think he proved it.
Justin Fields even?
Justin Fields
He's
still
a pretty
really
good
haven't.
running back.
Yeah, but he has no line.
He's a pretty good running back.
He's a pretty good running back. He can't throw the ball. And I like the guy. I really do. But Aaron Rodgers is gone, so now there's no threat. Minnesota, though, if this works out with them getting rid of Thielen, that's all I'm just concerned about is them getting rid of Thielen. And JJ is going to be JJ, so we'll see. That young kid, Addison, he might be good. And they still got KJ Osborne. And then the key part for their team, I think that brings it all in, is TJ Hawkinson. He was caught zinning. So had a little Nick pouch, nicotine, little cheek pillow in the other day in preseason. So they're calling Hawkins in. But yeah, no, I don't know. That's just one of those things that it really kind of just depends. Yeah. What are your? I want to hear your prediction before I go into mine because I'm obviously going to pick the Lions.
Right.
So I want to hear yours first.
So I will pick the Lions, actually.
Okay.
To not be gangbusters, but all you have to do is beat Chicago twice. That's not that big of a deal. There's no team in that division that's like, oh my gosh, you cannot beat them. Like it's not possible. So I'm not saying they're going to sweep them. I'm not saying anything like that, but Kirk Cousins in big games doesn't really do it for me, and they're not that great of a team. Last year, Minnesota won, I think, 8 games by 3 points or less.
Okay.
And you don't sustain that. You're going to lose some of those games. It's just the way it is. And so Detroit's momentum versus Green Bay's, the air is out of the sails.
Yep.
The wind is out of the sails in that one. That Green Bay doesn't scare me. Here's the thing about Green Bay. When Colin Kaepernick was coming up behind Alex Smith, when Patrick Mahomes was coming out under Alex Smith, it was a coincidence that they were both involved with Alex Smith. That's a coincidence. But those stories came out of how in practice they could slang it.
Yeah.
It came out in practice when guys are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It didn't come out for Trey Lance, by the way, and it didn't come out for JordanOve. There's a reason. Because
like one guy, his teammate said something, and I'm like, of course you're going to try to act like he's one of the best guys. Like,
yeah, it's your teammate.
He said something about he's the best quarterback in the NFC North. I'm like, you're a wide receiver, dude, and you're trying to get playing time. Like, of course you're going to talk him up, so he throws to you.
But it doesn't
No,
get
but
leaked.
it's not like leaked. Yeah, like you were saying, like, oh my gosh, like this is
We
national
knew of Mahomes
news. Yeah, we
because,
knew
like,
Mahomes. We knew
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick, you know,
'Cause
we knew
stuff got
Jimmy G
leaked.
even, like, you know.
Yeah.
Purdy,
so
yeah.
You're not seeing anything from Green Bay. Why is that? I know why. Because Jordan Love isn't the guy. That's the reason. So is he serviceable? Maybe. We'll see a full year if he doesn't get hurt.
So here's the thing. Do you know who they drafted, though?
Who Green Bay drafted?
Yeah. Who's their second string quarterback?
No.
Christian Hackenberg from Penn State. And I heard things about him that he's pushing Jordan Love, but obviously they're going to give Jordan Love the start. So
time will tell, I guess.
We'll see. Yeah, if Green Bay starts and it's like, you know, kind of shitty, like maybe
if they start
0-4 Hackenberg in the game
and it's bad 0-4. Like the offense is just not moving the ball.
So what's your take?
So yes, Detroit. I have
the Bears?
Green Bay at the bottom. I have Green Bay at the bottom.
Minnesota or Chicago? That's where I'm stuck.
So Chicago is above Green Bay, but
not above
Minnesota.
They've earned their right after last year.
Yeah,
so
to be second.
Basically, like you're saying, Chicago could win some games that they don't, and maybe pass Minnesota, but it'd be like by a game. Like it wouldn't be much.
Right.
It'd be like,
and I don't think it's going to happen. They could, but I don't see it.
So I'll go that too. I'll go Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay. Yeah. And I really think, like, I know it might sound like a homer pick, but I know everything about the Detroit Lions. So like, that's where I've done my research. Like last year, I'd have been honest. I would have put a second. than I did. I think I put a second or third, and we did. We got second. We literally
So
went.
close to
We
making the
literally
playoffs.
went 5-1 in division and get second place, and we are leading the Vikings. The game they beat us, we were leading them with 30 seconds left in the game,
And that's one of the games I was talking about.
So this is why our defense is better. They went into draft. They drafted better defense. They went and got guys. So Gardner Johnson, they just were excited to finally go put some pieces together. They got Malcolm Rodriguez and Aiden Hutchinson there. I could keep naming names, but I'm just saying they've built that defense. They look good. They get after the quarterback. They played better in the second half of the season, but the first half was horrendous, and they still were only losing games by like 3 or 4 because their offense was there. And I think a big add is David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that if they stay healthy, that they could be, outstanding players. You got Jameson Williams when he comes back after 6 weeks. So let's see how they win. Marvin Jones Jr. came back. I don't know. That's why I picked in Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't even have to say anything. Jared Goff's good. Don't even have to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Then jumping then to the AFC East. And that's Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
So
So you got the Jets, New England, the Bills, and the Dolphins.
okay, here's the Jets. I want to tell you something. This was a funny, I'm scrolling through, looking at reels, and the stand-up comedian he seemed to be from the same area that maybe Robert Saleh is from. You could just tell.
Yeah.
So he said, if you guys don't know anything about what's happening in football in New York, the New York Jets are like kind of good at football now. And isn't it ironic that Robert Saleh, who is the first Muslim head coach,
Yeah.
he changes the trajectory of the New York Jets, a Muslim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the crowd was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like that's wild."
Yep.
So, but it is true. He has changed the trajectory, and the reason
Salah a lot. I like
the
Salah
reason
a
is
lot.
not because he's Muslim. The reason is because he's from the 49ers.
I knew you were going there with
Yeah.
that.
So he was a defensive coordinator for
West East Coast bias.
So, you got to visit the city by the bay. I'm trying to be like Count Coward, right? No.
Have you seen it outside in
Oh,
L.A.?
man, yeah,
I walk
it's-
down and I'm running into Adam Sandler. and-
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, all right. So the AFC East, the storylines. New York is relevant.
Rodgers
That's
there.
for sure.
Zach
And just
Wilson
a
is
team
sitting.
is there. Not just Aaron Rodgers. They do have a team.
But hear me out. I think they finished third.
Well, that's not a reach. I mean, you got Buffalo there. They're no slouch.
Buffalo won,
You got
Miami,
Miami is coming,
and then New England might finish last, but I think they could win
and they could be spoiler
7 to 8
little bit.
games.
Mhm.
I think they got a little bit solid core, and they
Depends
just
on
picked up Ezekiel Elliott.
depends on if he eats.
Yeah. Wait, no. Yeah, they got him.
Yeah.
And then the Jets have
He didn't
now-
get drafted. No one drafted him.
No. But I was mixing it up with the Jets have Dalvin Cook.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I really like Buffalo. So there's really nothing there.
The last 3 years. I mean, you
Somebody
could say.
told me there's a video of Damar Hamlin tackling in preseason. He missed the guy, and somebody said this dude comes back to life better than he can tackle. I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, he made the roster. It's unreal. Like, I just like, wow. I mean, you can't believe it. We were watching that game live,
Yeah.
and we were just mouth open,
Yeah.
staring at the TV, and then all of a sudden,
what the heck's going on?
BK, Whopper, BK, Whopper, weird vibe. Like,
Yeah,
what?
like what?
Quit playing those commercials, bro. A guy's dying on the field.
Yeah.
Can you calm it down?
Whopper,
it's just-
double, triple.
Yeah.
Twist my nipples.
So weird. Glad that
Boy.
didn't, glad he didn't die. What do you say? Like, dude,
Yeah.
should you be playing? I don't know.
Should.
All right.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
I hate goodbyes. So the AFC East, yes, is definitely a bit sexier than
bit.
in times past. Where it was
Yeah,
just
so all of them
Patriots.
could be pretty good, but I think the Bills, if they got to capitalize. Josh Allen's not getting any younger,
Yeah, their defense I don't think is as good this year. Von Miller, just the guys are getting older.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Von Miller can't play for 4 games because he got put on the pup.
It's not out of the realm of possibilities that the Bills will be bad. It's not out of the realm of the possibilities that the Bills will be good.
Yeah.
That takes us to NFC East, which was like the joke for like a decade.
Yeah.
It's crazy how then they got like really, really good in a hurry. We're not East Coast bias. We are telling you, though, the NFC East is good. I hate to admit that the Cowboys are decent, but their defense is going to be pretty good. They have playmakers on offense. They have speed guys. They have guys that you can get the ball on third down to. They have, when Dak has a decent squad around him, he can sling it a little bit. So you got Dallas. Obviously, you have Philly. They are coming.
Yeah.
Man, they're coming. There's just nothing they led the league last year in Pro Bowlers, which the Pro Bowl's a joke, but it's more of a, how many good players you have on your roster. Now, one of those came to the 49ers, but their roster is just sick. It still is. Shout out to the Kelsey boys. Their podcast is pretty cool.
It's pretty funny.
So the Eagles are coming. The Giants and Commanders, I don't think are getting worse.
They're not worse, yeah.
They're not getting worse. They're not. Barkley, you got some stability
He's gotta
in
stay
Washington.
healthy, yeah.
And that's fair. But Daniel Jones, I don't think he's getting worse. He may not be getting better at the same
Washington
way.
needs a quarterback, though. Like, I feel like they got the team. They got McLaurin. They got Jahan Dotson. Defense. They're
Chase.
solid. Chase. Why can't I think of his name? Chase. Predator Monster.
From the Ohio State. Is that why you forget his name? Because
is it Chase Williams?
He went to Ohio State, so it's like, who cares?
I don't care what his name is.
So, but he is a man-child and really good, and they have some playmakers. I do like the coaching staff there as well. I think they're more than competent. So the NFC East will be another really good division. Who do you have coming out?
I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it. I have Dallas beating the Eagles. I just feel like I don't know if they can replicate last year, and I hope they prove me wrong. I want the Eagles to win, but I think it goes Dallas, Eagles, and
Giants.
Yeah, Giants, Washington.
And Washington not being a slouch of a team, someone's got to come in last.
Yeah, someone does.
Has to, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll still say Philly because I think Jalen Hurts is that much better than Dak, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I'll take Philly coming out of there.
Yeah.
Everything else the same. Moving to, what do we got, AFC South?
Yeah, so we have the AFC South. So the AFC South is Colts, Texans, Titans, and Jaguars.
Man, those Jags, dude.
Richardson, new quarterback for the Colts.
What's going on with Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor, nobody knows.
The Colts are a joke. They're not going to do anything. They're not.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman is their number one receiver.
Yeah.
They don't have line help. They don't have coaching. It's the coordinator from Philly. He's just going to be the coach now. That doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't worry me if I'm the other team.
Yeah.
It just doesn't.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. So the Colts are nothing. I'm excited
I'm
to
excited
see
about Jacksonville. Is that what you're talking about?
No. DeMeco Ryans. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
DeMeco Ryans was the defensive coordinator. He took over for Robert Saleh, and now he's the head coach of the Texans. However, he did play there and was a stud there.
Yeah.
I like that
Nico
storyline.
Collins, CJ
like
Stroud, they got some players.
Now, are they going to do it this year? No. Don't, they're not. But they will be a lot better than what they were last year.
Definitely, for sure.
Well, how could you not be?
I think.
But, it's the Jags, dude. It's the Jags.
I definitely think
and then
they're
it's
so
the Titans.
high from the Jags. I mean, and then, then
Titans,
the
Colts, and then Texans. Or,
Texans, Colts.
At that point, these teams are going to be bad. You know how we said,
Fuck 'em.
You know how we said, how we said with Commanders and some of these teams.
It's the same with the Colts.
No. I'm saying the Commanders can finish last, the Browns can finish last, and not be the joke of the.
Oh yeah, the
but
Colts.
I'm
if
saying the Colts
Richardson-
or
yeah,
the Texans,
They could,
they'll still be more of the joke
Yeah.
of the division.
yeah.
Unlike what I'm saying.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like
yeah.
The,
No,
that's
I
what
totally get what you're saying. On
So-
that. Yeah.
those bottom tier teams are bottom of the NFL, not just bottom of the division. Okay, then moving to the NFC South, you have the Fighting Baker Mayfields. You have the
Carolina
the
Panthers,
Saints
the Saints,
and the Fighting Jesse Bates.
Oh, Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta. So
So-
Jesse Bates, another Fort Wayne, Indiana, from the school that you not only went there, we coached there together, and
And
you
I
went
worked
there.
there.
So Snyder High School, Rod Woodson went there.
Yep.
So Jesse Bates got paid, is in Atlanta, going to be doing big things.
Hot Atlanta.
However, he will not be doing big things in the playoffs because he will not be there this year.
Yeah.
So Atlanta not ready to make that jump yet. They just don't have like what Desmond Ritter. I don't know.
Yeah. So you think Atlanta
Now-
doesn't have that jump this year?
Now you do. We were talking about this before.
I think it's a done deal. I think they're a lock for me at number one. So here's my thing.
I think Baker's not as bad as we like. I'll make fun of him all day, but
Baker's not as bad, but I feel like
that roster's better, dude.
Yeah, but it's just been left like it was led by Tom
Left for-
Brady,
and it
and
was
then you
left for
go
dead.
to like that's just big shoes to fill. Left by Tom Brady, and now it's Baker Mayfield's.
that is correct.
So here's
But-
my thing: Atlanta, Desmond Ritter. I think he's young and upcoming. I wouldn't say he's a top 3-5 quarterback, but maybe on the outside of the top 10. Okay, beside the point. I think he's good enough. You have Kyle Pitts, who could be one of the best receiver tight ends. He's like a receiver tight end, kind of like Kelsey. But, when those guys retire, I think he could make that next step with Hawkinson to be one of the best tight ends. Kittle, Hawkinson, and him could be the best. So that's my take on it.
Here's what I'll say. One thing.
Jesse Bates, I'll let you say your one thing real quick. Jesse Bates and Jeffrey Okudah in the backfield, and Jesse's the highest paid cornerback ever. I don't know, dude. Like there's just who's the running back? Bijan Robinson's the running back. I think he's going to get a lot of production. They still have Cordell Patterson. They'll put him in. Drake London. Like I don't know. The only thing is their line good enough? That's what I'm worried about. Okay, go ahead with your one thing.
So listen to the schedule that the Saints have.
I know it's easy. I know.
Now just
You can go through it, but I'm just saying.
so the Titans. Let's go through and think of the quarterback battles because I just was making fun of the quarterback situation. However, let's look at the quarterbacks they have to face. All right, Titans. Is there a Joe Montana over there?
No,
Is Joe Montana with the Panthers?
no,
That's next. How about with the Packers? Is he there?
no,
No. How about the Bucks?
nope,
Okay. How about the Patriots?
nope,
Okay. How about the Texans?
nope.
Okay. Then they're at home against Jacksonville.
Tough game,
Okay. You got Sunshine, right? Over there.
but
what
they
was his
should be
name?
favored.
What was his name?
Trevor Lawrence?
No, but what was his, in the football movie?
Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine. So, all right. But he's not ever won an MVP. Like, he only had one good year. All right. The Colts, is Joe Montana over there?
No,
The Bears?
that'd be a tough game, but they should be favored. No,
Okay. The Vikings?
tough game, but they should be favored.
And then Falcons.
Well, yeah, it'll be a little bit. Yeah,
Okay, Detroit.
loss.
Yeah, Jared Goff is obviously Joe Montana. Then against the Panthers again, the Giants, the Rams, and the Bucks,
Yeah, sounds
and
like
the
they-
Falcons again. Like, dude,
Shit.
that's like, dude, if they went 11 and on what 6,
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
but dude, there's less than 6 losses there based on that schedule. That's crazy. I wish my favorite team had that schedule.
Yeah.
We have the Eagles and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like what? So I think by default the Saints will be better than what we would normally say, and you do kind of have to look at that. But I don't think they're that great of a roster. They're decent, but so coming out of there though, you have Atlanta.
yeah. I think it goes Atlanta, Saints, Carolina, And why am I forgetting a team? Atlanta Saints, Carolina,
Bucks.
and the Bucks. Yeah,
Well, because I said the Fighting Baker Mayfield commercials.
Yeah, but so the Bucks.
You have the Bucks last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cute.
Then did we go AFC South?
Yeah. Wait. No.
Wait, we went East was Dolphins and
Yeah.
AFC South.
is
Oh no, we did.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
did them.
Colts.
the Colts. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I was like,
It's
yeah,
just
we did.
weird that Indy is so far north as far
Yeah.
as, but they're in the
So
South.
that's our breakdowns. So now your final four predictions. Who's your two best on the AFC and the NFC, and then their Super Bowl?
So AFC Chiefs. I hate to just like go what was like the last 2 years, but I don't see enough from other teams to chase them out.
Yeah.
So I know you're not as high on the Bengals. That's fair. I just think they have some
if you put
moxie
them
now.
in there, then that's
yeah,
fine.
I have Bengals Chiefs. I'm not high on Buffalo like I was. I think they missed their chance, and I think Joe Burrow and Chase are just coming, and they have the momentum.
So
So I got Kansas City and Cincinnati,
okay.
and I got. You want me to do?
Yeah, dude.
Final four?
Yeah.
I got San Francisco not being a homer. I mean, I just think.
Versus the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, I know. You can't hate on me for
No,
that.
I'm
It's
not.
Like, it's
I
like
like
roster wise, you know, yeah, I'm a homer if my favorite team is one of those teams, but like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Well, just for that, you want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Detroit versus the Eagles. And here's why. I think Cowboys end up winning the division, but then the Eagles get the wild card and
beat 'em.
they win.
And then you have the Lions beating the Niners.
No, I think I have the Niners as the number one team in the NFC losing to the Eagles in the first round game because the Eagles will get that wild card that will send them to you guys for that week one.
And they can, and that's,
And
they
they'll-
really could get
That's
them,
more
obviously.
if it's deep in the playoffs, if you play them deeper, I think you guys win. So here, that's my decision. And I just think Detroit, bro, like if it's special as they say, it's going to be special. Like I'm not saying win the Super Bowl, but I think they'll lose to the Eagles. And then I think it's going to be Ravens, Eagles, because I'm going to have the Ravens versus the Chiefs.
Ravens and Chiefs.
No,
Okay.
I want Ravens, Bills.
Okay.
Ravens, Bills.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
the Chiefs.
the
I
Chiefs
just,
can't win it every
no,
year. It doesn't-
and this
I mean, it
seems
doesn't
to
work that
be
way.
in rhythm with their like trajectory of like, okay, we're gonna have like a not bad year, but we'll lose in the playoffs to somebody. So,
Yeah. No, that's fair.
yep.
Okay. So
Now,
wait, did we have any teams in the Final Four?
who do you have winning your? Who do you have winning?
So I have, I mean, it's hard when, all right, honestly, as a Michigan fan,
Yep.
they've made it to the championship, right? Like
Yeah.
in the last couple
No,
years. Like,
we haven't made it to championship. We lost both Final Four games.
okay, you made it to the Final Four, I
Yeah.
should say. It's hard not to be a homer and
When
not
they're
say
up
that you have
there, yeah, like
So, like, what do I say? Like, if your
I mean,
team,
if you think that, but then back it up, back up. Like if you're gonna pick your team, back it up.
okay,
More
what
I'm trying
I
to
will say is Purdy a full year
yeah,
will go maybe only 3 or 4 losses that you can pin on him
Yeah.
for being like a rookie since
Yeah.
he didn't play a full year.
Technically, it's his rookie year.
Like he played a little bit,
Yeah.
And by the way, games that he's finished, he hasn't lost yet.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is that like if assuming that Bosa, even if he doesn't play the first 4 weeks, like dude, the NFL's a long
long time.
so
ago.
fine. Even if
I
that
can still remember.
even if he does, I forgot, so I didn't remember. Even if he doesn't play the first month, dude, it's gonna be fine. He's still
Yeah.
a beast, and then he'll just be rejuvenated and ready to go, be
Yep.
the highest paid dude, whatever. The offense, Brandon Ayuk will have a breakout year. Debo said he sucked last year and still did pretty well. If that's him sucking, he admitted that he sucked. And you watch the tape and he didn't try as hard. So I think he'll have a better year. Kittle has been a good target for Purdy. When I say good target, I mean he was getting the ball more than when other quarterbacks were on the 49ers. So
49.
So Kittle, I think, will have a better year. Christian McCaffrey makes that thing go. He's top 3 fantasy draft guy.
Pew.
I mean, he's unbelievable. It's obvious, right?
Yep.
So the defense is really good. They're usually picked first in fantasy the last couple of years. They're just good. It's hard to argue against our roster, I will say it, with the 49ers. So for me to pick them to win the Super Bowl, yeah, okay, I'm a homer, but like they made it to the Final Four. Like in the last 10 years, they've been there 4 times.
Yep.
What do you want me to say? Chris Berman picked 49ers and Bills literally for 10 years straight.
Yeah.
And the Niners made it only once, and that was in 94, and the Bills lost 4 Super Bowls in a row. But the Bills never played the 49ers, even though Berman picked them for 10 straight years.
Yeah.
So, like, for me to pick them, I don't know what you want. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
So I have the 49ers versus the Bengals.
Okay. I have Ravens versus the Eagles, and I have the Ravens.
That'd be fun to watch.
I have the Ravens winning.
That'd be fun to watch. Lamar Jackson
versus Hurts.
The haters just watching.
Odell back to another Super Bowl.
Yeah. Good. Tasty. So yeah, that's pretty. That's you have your fantasy ring. No, that could be. So we'll have to see if Detroit can start it off. If
Detroit loses
Detroit
first
starts it
round,
off,
don't be like, oh, da da da.
No. If they beat Kansas City this week 1, I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it will set
next
the
Thursday.
tone. It will set the tone for the season, definitely.
Man.
But yeah, that's our NFL.
So let's go into a little college, if you will, because so where all this was for the NFL, like it hasn't started yet. College has absolutely started, and man, like we knew the storyline going in was, again, we scroll through our TikToks and our reels and all that, and it's we're coming, Colorado, we're coming. Like every time I look
play
at
my theme music,
it's like so.
Speaking of Colorado, so Colorado goes out and puts a whooping on the national champion runner.
They only won by like 4 points.
But I'm saying compared to what it should have been, they were 3 touchdown underdogs.
Yeah,
and they won 45-42. Shedeur, who is this? Who is the Shedeur kid that they said that couldn't play? They couldn't play in D1. They said he couldn't play in a Power 5 conference. They said he could only be good in the HBCU. Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur Prime. Is that who we're talking about? He went 510 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 38 for 47. Not to mention Tyler Hunter, who played both sides of the ball, 1 interception, 11 receptions for 119.
And
Shedeur missed him twice.
Did you see the interception?
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. He like Superman dove at the goal line, at the pylon.
Unreal.
And here's the thing, Dion said this. He goes, yeah, Shedeur missed Hunter wide. He said he had 2 like streaks that like he had the dude beat by 20 yards. He's like, those are 2 touchdowns if we hit him. So you're talking about close game, but it was 2 plays away from being 14 more points.
Yeah.
But we'll see. They have a very, very tough schedule coming up. They play the likes of Oregon, USC.
At Oregon, too.
Yeah, so they play Nebraska next week, which is interesting because Matt Rule almost pulls off the upset on Thursday. And he was playing Minnesota at Minnesota.
That was a field goal, right? Wasn't it?
It was a field goal win. They were going down the field through an interception with 2 minutes left. Minnesota goes down the field, has some crazy shit happen, and then kicks a field goal to win. Row the boat, PJ Fleck. So that's that recap. Ohio State. I want to talk about Ohio State. They didn't know who they wanted, if it was Brown or McCord at quarterback. Then they don't cover.
Not even close.
As my friend once said, good teams win, great teams cover. So,
are they great?
The Hoosiers are great. Ohio State's good. And honestly, I said this earlier, their defense played better than their offense, which is surprisingly because they wanted to fix their defense for years. The last 2 years, they needed a better defense. As you could tell, Michigan gashed them. Other teams, gashed them. They fixed the defense, and now they don't know what the hell they're doing on offense. They have Marvin Harrison and Emeka Ibuka. They should, on paper, be one of the best teams with Travion Henderson as a running back. And Kyle McCord-Brown has to step up and play, but neither of them look great. McCord looked like he could throw the ball, but he didn't look like the best I thought he would be. Indiana only scores 3 points. And
Indiana's offense always has issues.
It's just crazy to me that it just Indiana's problem is so it's 23-3. They was 20-point game. Indiana's thing is like 3rd and 10. They don't have good place. Like they can do the 3 and 4s and 3 and 5s, but when it's 3rd and 10, Indiana can get done. Speaking of Indiana quarterback, Taven Jackson Davis, who is the younger brother of Trace Jackson Davis
from the Golden State Warriors.
And he looked really good. And for the first time, they said in a long time, I do believe that IU had the better quarterback in the game.
Which is crazy to think.
So that was that game. Let's just pick another one. So I'll just go there. Eastern Carolina, Michigan. What did you expect? Laffer. I think Michigan scores more if Harbaugh and Sharon Moore are there. Harbaugh suspended 3 games, self-imposed.
Did you like that in the very opening, how they came out?
Yeah, so they did the Harbaugh play with the train and did the 4 in the beginning, and then they lined up.
And then they got a 4-yard gain.
Yes, which was like, yes. And then JJ walks off the bus and practices with a Harbaugh T-shirt, but it's backwards, so it says Harbaugh 4, and he put in duct tape free Harbaugh, and so that was great. They look good. JJ passed. They made Eastern Carolina's up front was good, like not great, but for them, they were big. They were physical. So at first it was hard. The first 4 plays, like Michigan couldn't get done running. They're stuck in their end zone too, though,
right?
Because of great punt. But they forced JJ to throw, and he completed 87%. And that's the first time I think they said in Michigan history that somebody had that. Let's see, what was his completion? 26 for 30, 3 touchdowns, 280 yards.
Even
so not
practice,
Shedeur Sanders numbers, but JJ's not expected to throw for 500 when you have Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum.
Yeah.
Corum had 73 yards, so that we didn't use him that much. But again, we weren't running Harbaugh in Sharon Moore's office.
26 for 30, even in practice, sometimes you don't go 26 for 30.
And here's the thing, Michigan's smart. Because they play a crappier schedule, you're not going to throw your whole playbook out the window week 1 against these teams. Yeah. They won't. They'll use half the playbook against Rutgers. So that's that. So UCLA, who did you guys play?
So we played Coastal Carolina.
Okay. I fell asleep. What was the...
We won by 14 points. Okay. It wasn't anything like
to write home to your
No, it just wasn't like I knew we were supposed to win by more than 10 points. I knew that we would, but we turned the ball over way too much. It should have been a just all out blowout, but we threw interceptions, we lost fumbles, it was stupid. I mean,
crazy.
It's week 1. There's no way we're going to make any noise if we play like that. You can beat those types of teams like the Appalachian States, but you're not going to – I'm just going to be a fan of college football this year and I'm interested in the Heisman watch. That's one thing I want to say. The reason why Shedeur will not win the Heisman is because the tough schedule that you mentioned, you cannot lose 3 or 4 games and then win a Heisman. You can have the numbers that leapfrog everyone, but they're giving it to the Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State player who does the most stats, 12 and then their team goes.
Caleb Williams, he looked really good the other night.
And if the team goes 11-0, 12-1, 10-2 even, whatever, then sure, that's in the conversation. Yeah. But Shedeur, I'm not hating on him saying he's not good enough. I'm saying in year 1, The team isn't good enough. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah. Like Caleb Williams went 18 for 25, 278 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's not like world
So like him and
beater.
JJ did about the same, right? And they won 56 to 28.
The whole point with the Heisman is that you're so good that
You're beating good teams. So if he does this against USC and Oregon, say they're
beats
wrong.
them,
Yes,
and
then that's
beats
fine.
them. But
So
what I'm saying is
my
that
problem's
won't
not
happen.
with Dion in Colorado. My problem's with Shedeur winning the Heisman. Like, I think he's great, and I think you give him another year and he wins it, but not this year.
Yeah, it's possible. He is that good. I will definitely say and he's not even his dad's Deion Sanders, and he's not even a runner. He's like a pocket quarterback. Well, obviously to throw for 500 yards, you got to be slinging it. So yeah, college, we're excited every week in and week out. There's going to be matchups that we're just really excited about.
I'm sorry, Caleb Williams' numbers was San Jose State. That was week 0. Week 1 or this week, they won 66-14 over Nevada. And let's see if he's still in it after 18 for 24, 5 touchdowns, 319. So it's a good performance.
Over around 600
The
yards
defending
and like
Heisman.
8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's going to be pretty good. And if USC makes noise, then he will be invited to New York.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's all
just that
there's to
simple.
it. That's all there's to it. So let's get into a little bit more college. But first, I want to let you guys know, when you are watching the game at home, there's no better snack than, Caleb, what do you have here?
Jerks.
What do you have?
This
What
teriyaki is
Teriyaki.
fire.
So open it up there. So yes, you can go to thejerkyjerks.com. There you will see all the flavors. Like Caleb is opening right now and trying the
Got my
teriyaki.
little lip pillow. And
My favorite flavor is Asian Zing here. And here's the best part. Only $5 for all that beef jerky.
it's fire.
So you can go to thejerkyjerks.com. Again, you'll see all the flavors there. You can order and they will ship it to you. Best part, again, $5. Do you know what the second part is? The next best part. I told you the first part, only $5. That's the first best part. Do you know what the second best part is?
It's beef jerky.
The second best part is that some of the proceeds go to Adam's house. I'm Adam, and it's my house.
Oh. What about Caleb's house or apartment?
I'll share some of the proceeds. So, yes, affiliate marketing, people. So buy this so we can have money to make the show good.
Yeah.
But yes, the Jerky Jerks, awesome stuff. When you're watching the game, there's no better snack than Jerky Jerks. Let's get into
Some of the storylines. I mean, let's look. Like, Georgia won big. Bama won big. Like, we don't need to go into everything. Week
Right.
one's week 1. Notre Dame looked really good.
Yep.
But
But
some of those storylines.
the teams you mentioned, let's look at some of those teams that
Yeah.
you mentioned and some of the storylines that we kind of have looked at and we're like, dude, it's put up or shut up a little bit for some of these guys who are in their second year. So listen to this list of coaches who are in their second year. Go ahead.
Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. Sonny Dykes at TCU. Brian Kelly, LSU. Steve Sarkisian at Texas. Billy Napier at Florida. Lincoln Riley at USC. Mario Cristobal at Miami. Dan Lanning at Oregon. Brent Venables at Oklahoma. And Joey McGuire at Texas Tech.
So those are, it's not that all those names are big name. Now, Lincoln Riley and Brian Kelly, Steve Sarkisian, to name
Marcus
a few,
Freeman. Yeah, some of
are
these guys
big names. Well, Marcus Freeman wasn't a huge name.
He
you know?
was
Like,
because of how good he was as a coordinator. Like, do you
That's
get what
fair.
I'm saying?
That's
so,
fair.
like, and then coming to Notre Dame
The
as
other
a hire,
guys-
and it's Notre Dame. Like,
other
if it
guys
was,
are known for their name as a head coach.
yeah,
though,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying.
No, and I totally get that. But I feel like if Marcus Freeman goes to Texas Tech, we're not talking about him like that.
Maybe not. So the point is that not all are big names necessarily. Dan Lanning, not a big name. However, his program is. So all of these programs have had some glory in the past, have fallen away from it. Who has the best chance of getting back to glory, and why?
Brian Kelly.
Why?
Because I think it is a down year for the Georgia Bulldogs as much as I think that they can three-peat. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be LSU. He's got the talent right now. I think they're playing Florida State right now. They were up 17-14 at last time I checked. But, yeah, no, I believe Brian Kelly, but he has freedoms now. This is where I was more getting at. Notre Dame kind of hinders what you can do NIL. They hinder what you do grade average because they're one of the more prestigious schools in college football. So I think Brian Kelly has a lot of freedom when it comes to the NCAA. I mean, if you look at what Harbaugh's dealing with and what compared to like what Saban and all these other guys in the SEC had to deal with, the NCAA kind of just lets them do whatever they want. It's the SEC, you know. So now that he's not under Notre Dame's thumb, I think he might be one of the biggest breakouts, along with Marcus Freeman, because Marcus Freeman, I think, relates more to the players. He's a player's coach. He's a young guy. He's very, very, very smart when it comes to play calling. And coming under Luke Fickell, who is a Urban Meyer. He's an Urban Meyer. No, I would say he's not Urban Meyer. He's a Jim Tressel tree. So he's very, understood and knows what he's doing. He did really well at Cincinnati, got them back to Providence, and I think that's the year they made the Final Four, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I think Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame has a big chance, and then Steve Sarkisian at Texas. This is last year in the Big 12 before his conference gets a little harder, so I believe that Texas is the front runner in the Big 12. Steve Sarkisian has two great quarterbacks, so if Quinn Ewers goes down, I do believe Arch Griffin, I should say, has a great chance to come in. So those guys are good. Mario Cristobal would be up there, Dan Lanning too, but I just think Miami, until they prove they're not Miami, is Miami,
Right.
Brent Venables, Oklahoma, I don't know what they've been doing. I really haven't even researched them, so they haven't been talked about a lot. Oregon could be good, and Texas Tech. Sonny Dykes, he had a great year last year at TCU, lost Quentin Johnson, lost a few other guys to the draft. So I just, and they just lost to Coach Prime. So, so my guys, I think Kelly, Steve, and Marcus Freeman are the biggest. Billy Napier, Florida looks like garbage. Lincoln Riley, I guess you could put up there the top four. So those are my four. Lincoln Riley will be at 4.
I think
their defense just is so suspect. I don't like USC's defense.
I think Dan Lanning has a chance.
He does. He's
not because they're so great, but look at who they have to play.
Yeah.
It's more the schedule.
They're probably the best team other than USC. So both of those people, I just think UFC has the edge because they have Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
No,
for sure.
What about you?
I would say Notre Dame, based on how they look against Ohio State, will be very telling. And that I agree that Marcus Freeman and Brian Kelly, and like I mentioned, Dan Lanning, based on, it's just kind of a default thing. It's not like, oh, he's that good or the team is that good. It's look at their environment. It's a New Orleans Saints situation, if you will, but they're not facing any Joe Montanas out there. So for our Final Four, who do you have for the bowl season?
Okay, so this is a tough one. I really think Michigan's the best team, and again, like you said, it's tough because when your team is the best team and you pick them, then like you're looked at as a homer. So I don't really give a shit. It's a Midwest podcast, so I'm picking Michigan, and I just think they're the most complete they've been in 3 years. And if you think they're more complete than they have the last two, well, the last two they made it to the playoffs. So right. What are you going to tell me? Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards comes back. Their defense is better. I don't know what to say. Their defense looks great. They're getting to the quarterback, made some crazy-ass interceptions. So Michigan, I'm putting Michigan up there. I'm putting LSU up there. I just feel like they have the talent and the athleticism to beat Georgia. And then I'm going to put the Georgia Bulldogs up there as well. And then with my fourth pick, I'm going to pick the Texas Longhorns. So I don't think Clemson or Florida State. I have Florida State just behind at 5 or Notre Dame, but we'll see. The only reason I don't like Notre Dame is because they play Clemson,
Ohio State.
play USC, and they play Ohio State. And it's just not an easy schedule. So my thing is, if they can win 2 out of the 3,
Which good for them
If they
because
can
we
win-
hate
yeah.
on Notre Dame for having an
Yeah.
easy schedule.
yes, if they can win 2 out of 3, then I think they take over for Texas. Texas, they just have an easy. I think Texas beats Bama. And we kind of talked, and that was kind of is Bama on the downslide? No, they're on the up. But here's the thing. Jalen Monroe played good, but he's not like he wasn't the just gimme pick. But there's been years when Bama didn't have a gimme pick. They still won the SEC and they still won the national championship. So until Bama loses more than 2 games, they're still there. They might be dormant, but active dormant.
Yeah.
Can Georgia win 3? Yes, they can. Their toughest game is at Tennessee, but I think Tennessee beats them. Joe Milton threw 90 yards in the air, 90 yards. I'm saying one time, like not in warm-ups. Kid's got a cannon. He went to Michigan, then went to Tennessee, sat behind Malik Hooker. Hooker got hurt, and they still were winning games. So, and the only 2 teams to beat Alabama last year were LSU and Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's where my LSU comes in. So we'll see.
I have, and I'm not as firm. Like it's obviously really early, but this is what we're doing. It's the 2 early picks, right? Like it's way too early, but we're doing it anyway. So I have Michigan, definitely beating Ohio State again. I think Michigan did get a little better, and I think Ohio State got a little worse. Like I just do.
If not, they stayed the same.
And that's
You know
fair.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the only reason you can say they got worse is because they don't have C.J. Stroud at quarterback.
Right.
But the running backs are better and more experienced.
Yep.
The wide receivers should be good.
Oh man.
If Marvin Harrison he gets hurt every game, I swear. So Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
Beast.
stud for sure. So I have USC, Michigan, Georgia, and Alabama.
Yeah,
As my
I
Final
don't hate on
Four.
that either.
Yeah, it's
This
like,
year's so weird that like anybody's predictions, unless you pick like Michigan State or like Colorado State. Shoot, if Colorado makes it somehow and wins these close games against USC and Oregon, like
Yeah, good. It'll be good fun to watch.
I think Colorado will finish at 8 or 9 in their last polls, and they'll get the Rose Bowl if USC makes it to the
which would be
well,
fun. Well, then Oregon. Yeah.
That's the tough. I think they finished 3rd in the.
Yeah.
So,
Which, dude, after going 1-11, you can't hate on that.
yeah.
So, another sponsor that I wanted to tell you about was, if you can see our shirts. So we have gear, 2 takes between the lakes, and this is just really cool.
Your team sucks.
And what's cool about this, your team sucks, is you can get it in different options, and I wanted to explain a couple. So if, let's say, you are a Cubs fan,
yeah.
so you want a Cubs blue shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's blue, and you're going to a Cubs-Reds game
But yeah.
in Cincinnati. So
Cincinnati
you
sucks.
want to wear a shirt that says Cincinnati sucks, but you want it to be in blue. You can get that.
Blue and red, yeah.
If you are an Indiana Hoosier fan,
And you want to say Lafayette sucks.
you want it to be red, and then in white letters it'll say
Here's the thing.
Lafayette sucks, right?
You name the city, it's not copyrighted.
Exactly. So we're never going
But
to
we
say
want
the
you
Cubs or
to.
something.
This is kind of like our niche thing that we're doing with you guys, and I know it's week 1 of the podcast. But the more and more you guys listen, and the more and more gear we bring out, we hope to be launching a store soon. You know.
Yep. So you can order these shirts by emailing newhaventrophies@gmail.com. The link is in the show notes, not only for the shirts, but for the jerky as always as well.
Let them know 2 Takes sent you.
Yep, and you can call 260-749-0269.
Awesome.
So, again, what's cool about this is the multiple line options as far as what you're looking for. If you are a Green Bay Packer fan and you want to say the Bears suck, you'll get a green shirt, and in yellow letters, it'll say Chicago sucks. So that is the super, super cool thing. I have just the regular,
Your team sucks.
which is a very cool attention getter. I will say
and
that.
I think the other one that I really like that we should put in your line is the one you have that says, I just hope both teams have fun. Isn't that what it says?
Yes.
So
that shirt is actually displayed on our opening
yeah.
for the opening of the show.
Also, I mean, 2 Takes, like, we want to give you this one too. 2 Takes between the legs.
Yeah, just
and
to
maybe we'll
support
do
us.
something fun in a few weeks if we, get a few shirts of our own, or like do a giveaway if you share so many times, or subscribe. Like, so I listened to the Josh Pate show, which if you love college football, I'm trying to win a Chalice of Supremacy right now by saying this. So free advertisement to Josh Pate. But no, he is, if you love college football, don't just take my word for it or Marino's word for it. Like, Josh Pate knows what he's talking about. It's called The Late Kick. But yes, he gives away, for people that subscribe, he gives away, it's called a Chalice of Supremacy, and it's like a chalice that you can drink out of. So if you do crazy things, like, so one guy literally was like a server, and he wouldn't bring the bill until everybody at the table subscribed to his podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. So
And what's cool is because of our partnership with New Haven Trophy, that we can probably get them to make a chalice for us.
yeah, chalice or a trophy.
Because they
or
made this
like a mini
trophy here that
trophy.
you won, which I still don't understand how you win by drafting 3 defenses. But
I probably did in my other league that is drafting right now. Let's see. Let's take a look in on it right now.
Okay.
I probably have 3 quarterbacks.
well, if
Yep,
they're
yep.
Patrick Mahomes,
I
Joe
got-
Burrows, and
I
Josh
got-
Allen, or
I got
Lamar
Patrick.
Jackson.
I got Patrick Mahomes, number 1, and then I got Daniel Jones and Dak Prescott.
And you had Daniel Jones last year, who, because of his rushing yards, he got you a lot of points last year.
But I did pick up Elijah Mitchell.
Well,
He's like a 3rd string running back, isn't he?
he's the 49ers second string.
And
However,
then I got
he
Matt
doesn't
Gay
see the
from
field.
Indy.
Yeah, that's
Gay?
heterosexual. Elijah Mitchell, don't be so excited about. Like,
No.
he
I
just
was
can't
showing
stay
you
on the
that's what
field.
the auto draft did to
Yeah,
me.
he can't stay on the field, but you'll have to
But-
trade that dude.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
drop him.
Getting rid of that 49er.
And then I think the rest of my draft's solid. Patrick Mahomes, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amari Cooper, Mike Williams, George Kittle, George Pickens,
Oh, wow.
Patriots D. So 2 defenses, 3 quarterbacks. Matt
Well,
Gay,
Patriots D-
Braden Cooks, and Dalvin Cook.
Let 'em
and Quentin
cook.
Johnson.
Your team name should be Let Them Cook then.
Let them cook.
Just don't get
Too
Russell
many
Wilson.
cooks in the kitchen.
Bye-bye. Yeah. So basically, again, what we are doing is we have a show that is going to be every Monday morning when you wake up and every Thursday morning. Make sure to like and subscribe, follow on YouTube, share with your friends so we can grow this and bring
Yeah.
the best content possible, including we want to be able to bring on famous guests. If you only have 3 listeners on a show, you're not getting anyone famous. So remember that that's the way we grow it, is by you like, sharing, subscribe. Thursday's show is not necessarily about breaking news. It's going to be devised of like top 10 lists, like top 10 sports venues or top 10 fast food items, right? And then we'll have
Evergreen content.
versus like battles of LeBron versus Jordan, Coke versus Pepsi, Cool Runnings versus Miracle, right? So again, remember to like and subscribe so you do not miss out on new content. For CJ Westra, I am Adam Marino, reminding you that your team sucks, and we'll be back to tell you about it on Thursday, September 7th.
Go Lions.
Peace.